Jai Hind, dear students. So let's have a look at the syllabus and the various units of our syllabus. So you can see here the entire 11th class syllabus is divided into these four parts. The first part is introduction to computer system. It's about computer system, devices, and how does it operate. Then introduction to Python. We have done a bit of it. We have learned basic Python programming, but still the other data types like how to work with list and all, and even control structures, we have to study them. But right now what I'm planning to discuss these theoretical chapters first, and then we will just keep revising them at regular interval, and then we will entirely focus on the practical part, that is Python, and then our database concept using MySQL. So today we will try to study and cover this fourth unit because you will be really interested in this new topic. It discusses the emerging trends, the trends which are followed in other countries and even India too. So you have to be aware because this chapter gives you an insight about the future of the world. That is how various technologies are really changing the way we deal. Okay, so let's start this chapter, Introduction to Emerging Trends. Okay, so here we go. So you can just have a look at the various topics which we will be studying in this chapter. You can see what are emerging trends, what type of trends are we following in this computer world, how it is affecting the life of common people and in the management of our daily affairs. Then AI. If you are aware of AI, artificial intelligence, there are so many Bollywood movies based on AI. If you have watched like Terminator of Arnold, that's an example of how AI will work in coming future. Then big data analysis. What is this big data? As you know, internet is a huge network which is used by huge number of people. So at a particular time, billions or trillions of data is being generated, and in order to handle it, in order to study it and do some research, we have to learn how to manage this enormous amount of data which we will study in big data. The next is Internet of Things, IoT. It's again a very interesting topic in which we know how can we have some smart homes, or how things can happen, how machines or various devices they can integrate together to make our life even more convenient. Imagine you are moving, and the moment you are about to reach your home, automatically the AC gets on, and when you enter the room is quite cool. So these are the some of the things like smart home and all which are coming up with this IoT. And then cloud computing. What is this cloud computing? The word cloud refers to a place in the server. So generally, what was the procedure? The computing was done previously in your own device. So in order to do that, you need to purchase some very costly softwares, expensive softwares. So now this practice is done away with, and we have a new concept of cloud computing. Then we have grid computing, grids, and last one, blockchain technology, a very emerging technologies which are being used, blockchain technology in cryptocurrency and all, and many other field. So let's just go through this chapter. So now, introduction to emerging trends. So like we have discussed here, ki day by day we are coming across new technologies and services offered by internet, and which is having a huge impact on our daily life. How companies or commerce is taking place, that is also being highly impacted. Let's share one example. Just consider today with, let's say, 5 or 6 years back time, you will just notice that during that time the e-commerce was, you can say, negligible in India. It was there but not as much as now. Nowadays, if you have to purchase something, your first choice is online shopping using Amazon, Flipkart, Snapdeal, and all. Because here you can easily compare various products, various features, and the data given over these sites are very reliable. So these are one of the some of the changes which we are experiencing in our daily life. So we will just share these things so you can see here. Now we will start with our first topic, that is AI, artificial intelligence. So what is this AI? Let's try to understand it. So AI, as it means giving intelligence to computers. So far we have studied in computers. Computer is an electronic device which executes the instructions given by the programmer or the user. Generally, most of you have learned how to use Python as a programming language. We have even made certain programs. So in that we have seen how a programmer writes few statements and which is followed by the computer and the desired work is done. So this was how we perceived computer, but nowadays or the latest computers are even ahead of this particular pattern. See, this pattern of programming in which the programmer tells the steps one by one and computer executes is known as algorithmic solutions. Okay, so in that we create an algorithm and that algorithm is followed by the computer. Now with this artificial intelligence we have a different model in which there are a lot of data and there are a lot of cases, which is also known as fuzzy programming and all. So in this what happens, in this automatically that sort of programming is done in which computer can take its own decision on the basis of data collected or on the basis of model of AI being used here. To make it more clear, you can just have a look at your at the examples given. For example, it's taken an example from social networking site like Facebook and other. So you have seen here in Facebook and all, if you upload a photo, automatically most of the faces or most of the people are automatically identified in that. And even if you might have an application of Google which is known as Picasa, that's also an application of Google where photo tagging or identification is done by system itself. So what will happen in that, there will be certain faces which will be identified. You just need to give them a name and then automatically it will search and it will classify the pictures according to the persons available in the picture. So see, this is happening itself. It's recognizing face and then tagging them too. So this is one basic example which most of you have experienced in your smartphones. Then there are certain digital personal assistant like you have seen Google Now, Cortana, Alexa. So these are all powered by AI, artificial intelligence. So these are the things like you speak something, there is voice recognition, it reads your voice and then it answers them in proper way. So in AI, what is our main focus? You can see here our main focus is to imitate some of the cognitive function of human like learning, decision making and problem solving. So this intelligence is a feature of humans. We have been provided with intelligence by which we even anticipate and we act in a particular way. Okay, so the same process we are trying to give some sort of intelligence to our devices. Okay, so this is all about AI. So this is the objective of AI, to make devices smart. Means they will not require human intervention every now and then. With the least human interference or intervention, the systems will operate themselves. So that is the main objective of AI. So let us see what are the various applications or various outcomes of this AI in current scenarios. So let's go to the first part, that is machine learning. So machine learning is, you can see, a subset of AI, artificial intelligence. So what happens in machine learning, you can see here, in machine learning the focus is on data. So the data is being collected, and then those datas are, you can say, manipulated using some statistical techniques, and that too without human being doing that. Means we have created a program in which data is collected, and then data is automatically analyzed using various statistical techniques, and then on the basis of that particular analysis, computer itself learn to make its own decision. Okay, so these are, what to say, these are the basic principles of machine learning. And in this machine learning, we just go through that. The algorithm basically means the step by step solutions. So the algorithms of machine learning, they are known as models, and then these models are first trained, tested using some training data, and then we just come at a conclusion that if the success rate of these models are high, then we accept them, and then these models, they themselves collect the data, they themselves compute the statistical results, and they themselves make predictions based on these data. So this is about machine learning. So here what is happening, the data is being collected, the data is being analyzed through various statistical method, and then machine is able to learn by itself from these data. For example, the same is done by human. We do certain things, then we watch its or observe its output, and then on the basis of output we make certain things clear. Okay, if I did this, this happened. So this, from this output we can easily analyze ki how we should respond in future, what things should we do, what things we should avoid. So same is the principle of machine learning. Let's go ahead. The next is natural language processing, NLP. So what is this natural learning processing? The example you can just have a look at here. For example, you might have experienced it when you are typing something in your Android phones or on certain websites. Then what happens, it picks up the next word which you are supposed to type. Suppose you are typing something, so automatically it reads what you have typed so far, and on the basis of your personal experience, mean you, whatever you type frequently in your phone, automatically that data is stored with that server, and then with, on the basis of its past experiences, the machine is able to tell the next word, or it will predict the next word which you would be typing. So this is an example of NLP. And even spell checking feature or autocorrect feature is also included. You type something wrong, you might have observed that automatically it is corrected. So this feature, again, see, it's a prediction. You are typing, but computer or our that particular software automatically predicts the next word which we are going to type. So this is NLP. Then NLP again deals with interaction between humans and computer using human spoken language such as Hindi or English. And this we have covered in our previous section, like you have seen Alexa and you have seen Google now. So what is there? You just speak up something, the using this language processing, the server reads or identify what you are asking, and then more importantly it replies you back. So this is one important feature of NLP. So you can see here NLP performs text to speech and speech to text conversion as well. You're saying something, so what is happening? Your speech is being converted to text first through this NLP, then computer is able to understand what the user wants, then it searches its answer in its database, and then its reply, it convert that particular text into speech. So I hope this is clear to most of you. So you can see here machine translation. Machine translation is also again a very important feature which you might have experienced. This is a feature even provided by Google in an app known as Google Translator app. So what is the benefit? Even if you visit certain sites in which English or Hindi is not given, some other foreign languages are there. So even you will have that feature. You can convert that particular language into your native language. And that too is done by that server itself, because it knows the language setup by you. Then it converts any other language. It just asks you and convert that particular foreign language into your native language. So this is again a feature of NLP in which this machine translation of that particular language is done. And more importantly, this language translation is very effective. Its accuracy is quite high. There are some chances of mistakes they may occur. Okay, and you can see here another emerging application is automated customer services, where computer software can interact with customer to solve their queries or complaints. So that all of your families को chat bots भी बोलते हैं. So using chat bots you can just chat with a particular server. So that's not a human being, but it gives a feeling that someone is talking to us. So this is how things are evolving. Then let's move to the next one, immersive experiences. What is meant by immersive? Immersive experiences generally means those experiences in which the customer feels that he has immersed, or you can say a virtual environment. In short, we will call it a virtual environment. So you can see here with 3D videography, you can watch movies in theater and all, and we have been doing it for past many years. But nowadays there are many theaters which give 3D or 4D or 5D kind of experience. Then you might be thinking, what is meant by 3D, 5D, and 4D? So the increase in D or dimension depends on what all effects does you experience watching those movies. So so when you will be watching these movies in these theaters, you will have a sense that you are present in that particular movie. It won't be a movie like we watch in TV sets or in simple theaters in 2D format. It gives you a 3D effects. Even you can feel it, you can experience it, you can smell it even. So there are many added dimensions. So you can see here, immersive experience allows you to visualize, feel, and react by stimulating our senses. So now we can just have a look at it. Its applications you can see here in driving simulators, flight simulators, and all that. The word simulator means to simulate a situation. Simulate means to imagine a situation. For example, if you are going through some pilot training program, so in that case it's not that you will be given straight away with a plane, a commercial plane to fly. No, first of all, using these applications, driving simulator and all, you will be given, using this immersive technology, an environment of a feel of sitting in a cockpit and driving that particular plane. So in that, everything, your senses will be like that you are sitting in that cockpit and driving it. So that's all possible with the help of immersive experiences. Now again it comes in two part. First is virtual reality. Now let's see what is meant by virtual reality. You can see here a reality which is virtual, which is not there, but you get a sense that you are in that. So you can see here, so it's a computer generated situation that simulate a real world. Most of you gamers, this is for you gamers and all, you might have visited some play stores in which you have a sense of being a part of that particular environment. So for this, the most common device is VR headset. You can see in this diagram, and this person is wearing a VR headset. So what is there? You can see here, in order to make your virtual reality more realistic, we even use some sensory information like sound, smell, motion, temperature. So in this virtual reality, you wear this VR headset and you feel as if you are present in that particular scenario. So that gives a very new experience of excitement. You don't feel like you are playing something on a screen or something like that. You feel as if you are present in some battlefield like PUBG and all games. So now the next one, let's go through that. The next is augmented reality. Now just you have to make a basic difference between augmented reality and virtual reality. See, in virtual reality, everything is virtual. But in augmented reality, augmented means added. So in augmented reality, what happens? There are your actual real world things are added by some extra information by that particular application. Okay. So again, for this, I will suggest you, if you want to a perfect example for augmented reality, please search for sixth sense device. Sixth sense device, it was made back, I think, 5 or 10 years back by an Indian computer scientist, Pranav Mistry. And in that you can just have a fair idea of augmented reality. I'll just explain. For example, you're visiting a library or maybe a bookshop or maybe some place, and you just want to go through the details of the products given there. So what you will do, using your camera, you can just scan that particular device and it will automatically search it on search engine and give you the entire detail of that particular device or that particular object. So that is an example of augmented reality. So you can just have a look at it. You can see the superimposition of computer generated perceptual information over the existing physical surrounding is known as augmenting reality. So what are the two underlying things in this? First is the existing physical surrounding. So if you want to add the existing physical environment with certain more added information, then that is augmented reality. So in augmented reality, one thing is there which you might have experienced, like if you are visiting some place and you are using some apps based on augmented reality, so you can just use them in your real life. For example, one example is quoted here. Let's say you are visiting some place and you are having a AR based app, then you can just hold your camera and then click on certain objects or monuments, and it will give you the detailed information about that particular monument, which place is that, when was it built, and all that information. So this is an example based on augmented reality. So you can find that that is so useful. You are visiting any place, you can simply scan that particular pic and it will provide you all the details of that particular monument and all. So that's all for today's lecture. See you in the next video, students. Till then, take care and Jai Hind.